Do you often find yourself crying in the dark, wondering if you've missed your chance to be happy in life? Me too. And desperate for murderous dopamine, I opened Steam and blindly purchased Rising Storm 2, Vietnam. I must be luckier than a child with a loving family because this game is fucking awesome. Are you looking for a realistic shooter without the burden of daily tasks, a deep learning curve, or stressful item management? If so, this just might be the game for you. You will kill a lot, but you will die even more.
Fuck.
Released in 2017 by Antimatter Games and Tripwire Interactive, Rising Storm 2 is a multiplayer shooter with realistic mechanics that brings some fun back into the Vietnam War. A number of things make an online shooter good. The maps, the atmosphere, the community, the gameplay. If I'm not completely shit at it,
Fuck.
you get the idea. None of these would matter if the game doesn't follow the most important rule, to be fun. And that is where Rising Storm 2 shines.
God. Fuck.
The realistic shooter genre has always been in the shadow of run-and-gun games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. I guess the average player doesn't like coming home after a 12-hour shift, only to be chromed by a single bullet from across the map.
Damn it.
Oh.
Oh.
But I digress.
Fucking chromed me.
Fortunately for Rising Storm 2, large-scale war-based games set during the Vietnam conflict are few and far between, so not having any real competition helps it stand unique in a sea of other shooters. Rising Storm 2 is like the dollar store version of a AAA game that, somehow, came out better than the big studio release. One of my favorite things about this game is how well it captures the atmosphere of battle. I suggest playing with headphones because the audio mix is incredible.
This is fucked. I can't see shit.
Like this sound of napalm burning the guy you just met. You don't even know his name, but you know he has a wife and kids. And now you know the sound he makes when he's being burned alive.
We have a lost eco.
Also helping with atmosphere is the seriously impressive bullet impact sounds from the surrounding battle. Different surfaces have unique sounds when shot. Bullets easily tear through walls, and it really brings the feeling of you not being safe anywhere at any time. You can be frolicking with your best bud, having a time, and he gets put down with one bullet like a sack of potatoes right in front of you. And now you're trapped. Even if you're playing with them, there's no kill cam, so you don't know where the bullet came from. Your hands begin to shake and you taste blood. You blink and you're not playing a game at all. You're 17 again, drafted into the rice fields of Vietnam, fighting a war you don't believe in for a country that doesn't care about you. 3 words whisper between your terrified lips. War is hell. To immerse you back to your days of war even further, Run Through the Jungle by CCR plays throughout the game. They managed to license the rights, but I didn't. Sorry. There's also a vast amount of weapons within the game, but the team balance mechanic only allows a finite number of classes to be currently chosen, and you may not always have the opportunity to try different weapons throughout a match. That said, the weapons I did use made me feel powerful and sounded awesome in my shaking hands. As the great Four-Leaf Tayback once said, I don't know their names, I just know the sound they make when they kill a man. The secondary weapons also feel great and are satisfying to use. Grenades have an impressive impact radius, and the gore effects provide plenty of enjoyable limb parties.
Whoa!
At its core, it is a squad-based game, but player-to-player interaction is minimal, and the community I experienced was significantly less toxic than another unnamed realistic shooter. This was my personal experience, however, and I know a lot of people love that game, so take what I have to say with a grain of salt. Because who the fuck am I? Rising Storm 2 has 11 main maps in regular rotation, not counting the free Army Men DLC, which could be an entire video itself. For the most part, each map has elements that make them unique from one another, like here, where I had an intense battle for an old hotel. Or this extra crispy mountaintop holding point. The game is good, and you should get it. However, there are a few glaring problems that might deter a less patient person from enjoying it as much as I do. Among the intense, cinematic, seriously fun shootouts, there was unfortunately a number of glaring issues that have frustratingly not been fixed 6 years after release. The biggest issue that I ran into was respawn points. It wasn't a problem on most maps, but the layout of certain maps made spawning safely nearly impossible. On this map, for example, the respawn point is in a wide open area easily visible to the other team, and when one bullet can kill you, it leads to a lot of spawn killing. The respawn points don't adapt to the changing battle, so sometimes you end up spawning directly into enemy gunfire, and you have to take your keyboard and introduce it to the concrete.
Come on. Come on. Ooh, fuck. Come on.
Partially attributing to the poor respawns is my second biggest concern with the game: balance. Any vehicle you see is overpowered. Sure, just like real life. But when the game is primarily based around infantry battle, having a helicopter buzzing over your spawn and killing you again and again becomes super frustrating.
This is bullshit. I'm not even fucking spawning. Fuck this. Like, you get 300 fucking kills. Tell me this shit's not OP. Oh, come on. They got helicopters flying all over the fucking place. Just shooting the shit out of us like it's nothing.
In this map, the level design is very flat and open, allowing heavy machine gunners to hide in the long grass and spray over the open fields. When it only takes one bullet to kill you, spraying and praying can wipe out an entire squad. I know these situations come hand in hand with these sorts of games as they're inherently unfair, but between the machine gunners, the noob tubes, and the helicopters, something just isn't balanced. The artillery and napalm both have huge spreads and will kill you over and over. The game does prompt you to hide from the incoming strikes, but even being inside won't save you.
For fuck's sake. Oh, fuck.
The third main issue for me, while small, was the previously mentioned loadout changes. In most online shooters, you have the opportunity to try different classes and use different weapons until you find one that works best for you. Personally, I like disappointing my friends and family with all available weapons classes. You want to play as a sniper? Good luck. Want a command? Neither does anyone else. The game is still extremely fun regardless of class, but when you're constantly getting killed by overpowered weapons, it leaves a sour, disappointing itch that is left unscratched.
Oh. Bitch.
You may not get the chance to rip people apart with a heavy machine gun or go for the pink mist from a distance, but you will have to deal with that happening to you on the regular. Like any multiplayer game, there will be good rounds and bad rounds. Based on my personal experience, there was no in-between with Rising Storm 2. I was either having the most fun I've had in years, or being completely beat down and too frustrated to even respawn.
I'm not even gonna spawn.
I chose to highlight some of the negatives in this video as I figured the gameplay would speak for itself, and I wanted to offer a neutral opinion. All in all, the heart-pounding action completely outshines any shortcomings, and playing Rising Storm 2 Vietnam in 2022 is a no-brainer. Just remember not to give up if things aren't going your way, because next round, they might.